Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Ka album, A Martyr's Reward. This is a brand new LP from Brownsville's own Kasim Ryan, or Ka, which I believe is his 6th full-length LP under this name, or his 8th overall. It's a pretty quick follow-up to last year's Descendants of Cain, which was essentially another reminder of everything that sets Ka apart from every single thing going on in hip-hop right now. His lyrical ability and wordplay are just on another level, plus his spoken word inspired style is a constant reminder of just poetry's integral role in the history of hip-hop music. And on A Martyr's Reward, Ka's music continues to be more heady than visceral, spitting a mountain of quotables over these dusty, strange, and cinematic samples. Which conceptually is nothing new for Ka. He is pretty much sticking to his guns on this LP, which I think, given his track record thus far, is to be expected. But as a result, there are some tracks here that feel kind of average or by the numbers for him. I'm not seeing what necessarily is so ambitious about this project in the grander scheme of his entire catalog, especially when the beats on this one get a little tedious, like in the case of Sad to Say. Those incessant flute hits do get kind of stale after a bit. The heavy riffs and drums on Be Grateful not only drown out Ka's voice, but also lose impact as the song continues too. But these tracks are more the exception than the rule, I think. Much of the time this LP does manage to reach some creative highs, especially as the instrumentals get more abstract and the storytelling more tragic and thorny. There's definitely a progression to this record too, as many of the instrumentals segue into each other pretty quickly. And the closer, Having Nothin, is maybe one of the biggest revelations in Ka's entire discography, as he comments on the struggles of his youth, giving him everything that he needed to become the man he is today. But that is the end of the LP, and I think there are some pretty stunning moments along the way. There's I Need All That, which I think is a brutal dissection of systematic racism and also the commodification of black and hip-hop culture and the ways in which it being sold off has kind of perverted it as an art form. Now, I'm aware of my role in that cycle as a white guy reviewing the record now for like a commercial platform. I'm not claiming to know or understand personally or experientially what's going on this LP, what's being said on it. I'm mostly trying to observe what's being conveyed narratively and emotionally, commenting on the aesthetics of the record, and in this case tell you what I'm hearing is pretty good and unique. The chilling Peace, Peace, Peace hits with some eerie and soulful vocal layers. It's one of the most beautiful spots of any Ka record so far. Throughout the track, Ka drops lyrical gems about tension, inequity, and being at odds with various forces that are working against him. PWH is another hellish highlight with movie soundtrack energy coming off the drums and warm organs hanging in the background, underscoring Ka's bars about an everyday struggle to survive and also overcome out of just not really having any choice but to. As he says, start with no chips, never know when to fold. The song I noticed was a highlight from a production perspective because I was pretty impressed that Ka's rapping so effortlessly and fluidly over this persistent beat that sounds like a murderer lurking around the corner or like a nighttime chase scene. There are some lyrical highlights on the song Like Me as well, whose grand atmosphere leaves this track feeling like Ka is reading from some ancient mystical text to a sea of followers. And I gotta say, I came away blown away by his wordplay once again, as he says, real even keel when demon approach me, make it quite clear I bring nightmare if you dream to provoke me. With All My Heart narratively was a slight change of pace on the LP. It sounds as eerie as nearly every other track here, but the bars here see Ka highlighting, I guess, his more empathetic and measured side. Thematically, this track is sort of an oasis to friends, not foes. If I greet and say peace, you're safe here. But of course, there are points here where he piles on these really grim visions of his past. The track We Living / Martyr features Navy Blue, which I'm pretty happy about, not only because these two stir up a great chemistry on this track with similar vibes, emotions, deliveries, but on top of it, I think Ka, in his own way, sort of set the stage with this current strain of depressive, abstract hip-hop that's making so many waves in the underground right now. It's cool to see him, you know, just working with and acknowledging somebody who has represented that trend. band. Though I will say instrumentally the transition into the Martyr portion of the song is a little awkward. You know, I can pick out highlights on this record from front to back. I'm mostly pleased what's been, you know, passed along here by Ka, but I'm just failing to see what makes this album fireworks in comparison to the rest of his records. It's fine. He's mostly, you know, kind of working up to the standards that I think that we expect him to. But by that same token, this is not the most lyrical focus we've seen track to track on a Ka record. The instrumentals are certainly far from some of the best that he's ever put out there. And in comparison with records like Samurai and Orpheus, this one isn't quite as conceptual or narrative either. So I guess to sum it up, the record is certainly good, but I'm not coming away from it feeling like it's one of my favorites that he's ever done. Feeling a decent 7 on this one. Tran. Zishin, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Ka, forever.